Yeah, we're live. Wala pang tao.
Wala pa nagagalaw ng baso.
Yeah.
We're not really live until people say we're live. That's the thing. Pag wala pang nagwa-what's up.
Bruce! De, joke lang. Practice lang.
Earl!
What up?
Earl!
Go!
No, it's Earl. Earl, what's
See,
up? You
Earl.
beat Bruce Lim. Wow, you need that. We need
Which is
Yes,
not a
Earl
first, by the way.
something. That's a
D
record.
Prime is here.
Good.
I was saying, see, Earl walked up to me nung viewing party, showed me his
Glendale,
brand
hello. You
Bray
definitely
Wyatt
hate
shirt.
math. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I hate
definitely a
math.
math hater in me.
Thanks, Earl, for coming. We're about to tell you what the next one is.
Pwede na ba yung belt dun?
Actually, been thinking about it.
No.
Meron pala
Owen.
pwedeng ibang gawin eh. No?
No.
Sinturon pwede.
So, syempre. How you gonna hold up
Yeah.
your pants, diba?
Suspenders.
That's true. I don't know. I just don't know where to get one. Get a pair.
Department store. Ano ka ba?
Yeah. Polo Club.
Marks
Yeah.
and Spencer.
I think about Marks and Spencer.
Yes, sir.
Ina is
Zara,
asking
meron din.
what thoughts are on the AEW ranking. She also said,
Yeah, we'll talk about it tonight.
Masantas Ya Labika podcast. I don't know what language that's in, but I'm hoping that's a compliment. So thank you.
1/3 of the Papa Bears are here. Derv is here. Wala si Emil eh.
What's up,
Doesn't
Tito
that
Derv?
make it
Hey,
2/3
Julian.
kasi part ka rin nun.
2/3 pala. Sorry. 2/3.
Yeah,
Derv,
Rowan
anong
likes solo
feeling na
Sikoa,
natalo
also hates
yung...
math.
Wait lang, guys. Sorry. I just have to ask Derv this. Derv, anong feeling na natalo yung Lions sa Niners, Derv? So, marinig yung thoughts mo on that.
I feel sad. I wanted the Lions to win.
Actually, Chino, you would know if you were in the Discord chatting with Derv.
Yeah, I don't need to put up the stereotype of people calling me Discord mod on fucking TikTok.
Oh my God.
Let's let it die.
Oh, man.
I'm the guy that was calling Stan, that Stan was calling support yung vision from the Royal Rumble episode.
Oh, hello, France. Hello, France. Thank you for thinking that Chino was me or that I was Chino. So you did deserve that one. But thank you for tuning in, man.
Hey, that's you, yeah.
I
with
still
the,
appreciate you.
with the 3 friends. Ay, madami siya lang sinabi. Madaming sinama yan nung viewing party. So,
France
despite
came
your
here to
poor eyesight.
Talk a shit. Talk
Thanks
to
for
him
being a
some
sport,
shit.
man.
So friends here to talk some shit. But pala vision niya eh. You want to say that to his face? We can't see you though. I mean, like, this is
No, you cannot.
niya.
Sa ating bahay ako eh.
Thanks, Earl. You're a good one.
Actually,
It is
Carlo,
nighttime.
gabi ang elimination
Yes.
chamber sa atin.
Same time zone. Must be nice to call a wrestling show.
Who's ready for story time?
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to him.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening...
And you are listening...
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
You are watching and listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stancy, Ro Moran, Chino Liao, and Rowan ASH all coming to you from our very paranoid boxes and rooms at home dahil outcast kami. But we are celebrating with you all because we had a hell of a viewing party over the weekend. So we gotta say once again, thank you to everyone who joined us for the Royal Rumble watch party nung Sunday at Skinny Mike's. A lot of you came out. Tong si Franz nagparamdam here in the comment section alongside a lot of you who had a great time with us. So we just want to say again that we appreciate each and every single one of you who really made that a Royal Rumble viewing party to remember. Thank you especially to those who were part of the 179 strong na paying attendees of the viewing party. Ikaw, Rowan, what was your favorite moment from that viewing party?
My favorite moment is that habang may nag-e-entrance na wrestler, no one's recreating it. And lahat nakaupo, everyone is behaved, everyone is cooperative. There were people who brought in belts, pero when I told them to, you can put it back in the car kasi we have this new rule. O kaya, you can just leave it here outside. Pumayag naman sila.
Oh, he's saying that with his whole chest, huh?
I like how Rowan was absent for a while and came back with a set of balls. Good job, Rowan.
Okay. Okay, that's between you and God, huh? Okay.
Yeah. What
Ikaw,
did
Chino,
you do
fresh
during that break?
Chino, you're fresh off of your arrival from abroad as well. So what was it like being among the local wrestling fans once again?
Masaya because nawala yung antok ko. The Rumble has always been one of my favorite pay-per-views. So regardless of whether or not I was playing a role in the event, maghanap talaga ako ng way because I've been hearing from people that were watching at home na nasira yung stream nila. So they weren't able to experience all of it live, So it was great to see it amongst a sea of wrestling fans. With or without belts. Hopefully, wala.
Wala kami ni Rojan. We just want to say, wala kaming kinalaman dun sa mga aberya dun sa stream or whatever. We are not associated with it malfunctioning or on the tech side. So wala kaming kinalaman dun. Hugas kami. Para kami si Emil Nate.
No. It's February 1. That means di ko nakalayan sa Disney Plus. So I can say this. Disney Plus can go fuck itself. Disney can go fuck itself. And they haven't fixed that shit for over a year now.
Yeah.
And they deserve whatever karma is coming to them because they don't prioritize the millions and millions of wrestling fans that have signed up. That have signed up to watch wrestling on their platform. So go fuck yourself. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my gosh. On that note, let's steer it back to something we can all look forward to kasi may isa na namang WWE PLE for the month of February, and that is Elimination Chamber Perth. So babyface producer Jasper, let's tell everyone that we are doing a viewing party on February 24, Saturday at Skinny Mike's BGC. Same prices for the Royal Rumble viewing party. Mali ba yung time? 8 p.m.
Yes, it is 5:30 p.m.
Sorry. 5:30 p.m. Manila time. Or whatever time it is in Perth, yun din yung time natin for Manila. Same time zone. So it'll be 5:30 p.m. So late afternoon, evening, same ticket prices from the Royal Rumble, 350 pesos for the early bird tickets, 450 pesos for the walk-in tickets. Either ticket gets you a free iced tea. And ganun ulit. We're gonna have a lot of fun watching Elimination Chamber, the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. So yeah, we're gonna fix that scheduling thing on the poster, on the graphic, when we announce it then on the Facebook page. But you heard it here first. Elimination Chamber Perth viewing party live at Skinny Mike's on Saturday, February 24. Next up, naipa-plug natin. Of course, we've got the Patreon. So, Ro, let the people know.
For that, saying hey to our boss and friend, Boss Dwayne of Everybody's Toys and Collectibles in the comments, in the chat. Thank you so much for sponsoring ang ating dalawang prize, the RKO NWO style shirt and the Elite The Rock action figure. A lot of people like that. May nagsabi na more daw. So, baka Boss Dwayne, baka gusto mong paulan pa. Especially for Elimination Chamber. So, we'll see you. All right. Patreon, if you want to join our group of fellow outcasts who want to talk about wrestling, want to talk about video games, want to talk about sports, even got a small Tekken group already going in the Discord channel. So if you want to be a part of that and also be a part of a watch party, possibly on Monday morning for NXT Vengeance Day, we'll be predicting that later. All you got to do is join our Patreon program, patreon.com/wrestling podcast. Only for $5. That is around 275 pesos. For all of that, it's a better deal, than other viewing parties where may nanggugulo. Although, Hobby Stadium is an okay place. We love Hobby Stadium.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So you get that access to our Discord community. You get access to our watch parties now over the Discord channel. We found a better way to do that, a more consistent and reliable way to stream viewing parties. So go check that out. Lalo na AEW is coming next month. So we'll be doing that as well. And review content. It's free though, but you get review content. You support us, and we have our pasabays. A new batch is coming on Monday. If you are a patron by then, you get the very nice, not so evil, preferential pasabay rates. Mas okay sila, to be honest, than yun. Oh, there it is. Our good friend Stanley Chi repping it with his Christian Cage t-shirt that he got last year. So yun, please join that. Please support if you have like the $5 or the 275 pesos to spare. You don't have to, you don't have to subscribe for a long time if you are unable to, or if life is kicking your ass right now. We let you guys support for as long as you can. If you like what we do here on the podcast and at our events, our pasabays, this is how we keep it going. So yeah, it would really be great for you for us to have your support. So thank you again. If you want to go there, it's patreon.com/wrestling podcast for only $5.
All right, tuloy natin yung ligaya with some happy row noises to celebrate Blast TV.
Hey, it's WWE on Blast TV. Last night I was watching Raw on Blast TV. Medyo late siya nag-upload. I was waiting for it the whole day on Tuesday. Tapos late siya nag-upload. I think gabi ng Wednesday siya nag-upload. But that's okay. That's okay because this is the legit way to support the WWE's main roster shows without pirating, without going to the other site, without waiting for the dog to appear at the end. The ratings, they need the ratings to keep us, to keep us to keep providing us rather the nice legitimate content. Raw, NXT, SmackDown on Blast TV. It's free for Converge and Globe. So alam niyo na kung if you have any one of those providers. For the rest of y'all, it's around like 189 pesos for a monthly subscription. That's super cheap, y'all. Super cheap for main roster content every week, as in live tapos right on demand afterwards. So Blast TV, blasttv.ph. Go check it out now.
Di pa sponsored Carlo Elijah. Kailangan nating ipaalam kay Boss Carlo Pamintuan. Siya yung makakapag-influence sa mga kinauukulan. Michael Dre, regarding the pasabays, yes, Roots of Fight is one of the stores we can order from.
I bought Roots of Fight last year. Had anyone else join me, I would have, gladly accepted you guys into my order.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about some wrestling. We're going to start off with CM Punk, who sustained a tricep injury in a Royal Rumble match. And after his promo on Raw this week, we found out that he is out for a minimum of 6 months. So he is officially missing WrestleMania 40. Holy crap. Sobrang ano siya, roller coaster of emotions, right? From CM Punk arriving as a conquering hero no Survivor Series to the build up to the Royal Rumble to his actual Rumble match, final 2 performance to biglang injured, out. And now Drew McIntyre gets to come out and play the troll and says, "Nah, I don't pray, but I was praying for this to happen like a petty little bitch." So, what did you guys think about how CM Punk gave us that one last promo like a true babyface before ultimately getting taken out by Drew McIntyre?
Hindi ako naaawa sa kanya. I'm sorry.
Same.
Like the same okay, first of all, we should have known that Punk would have a higher chance of getting injured in long big time matches since he has a history of doing that sa AEW, diba? I can't remember which particular match it was, but there was a time where he wrestled an epic matchup. I think it was against Hangman, probably. Tapos na-injure siya after, diba? Nawala siya for a while din. So, alam na din niya dapat in his own mind ko ano yung kaya ng katawan niya. I guess in his desire to prove that he is indeed back for like wrestling time. Now, siguro na overexert niya, ewan. I'm not a doctor, but there is history there. So, dapat may konting precaution din from his end. With regards to his promo, I still have a hard time buying him as a babyface because he is still very unapologetic for his previous actions. And really, whenever he opens his mouth, he sounds like a politician to me. It sounds like he sounds like somebody trying to sell you snake oil. Diba? Na parang, oh, nagbago na ako. Ito na yung bago. But he never really apologized for anything. Diba? He never really said, the words, "I'm sorry for what I did," never really exited his mouth. So for me, it's really still a hard sell to buy Punk as the face here.
Mm-hmm.
Ang bilis ng karma, digital. Yeah, if I was a Punk fan, siguro I would say this was heart-wrenching and I would feel for him. Pero no, wala talaga. Ganyan ang buhay. Injuries happen. And medyo, actually, part of me feels bad for him kasi this is like his redemption. Not just in storyline, pero like in real life. This is another setback and this will humble him for sure. And I'm a little upset na Seth versus Punk is not gonna happen because of this injury. It's gonna be one of the big money matches, pero it's not gonna happen. And even though I don't like Punk, I like the direction where the storyline was heading, pero it's not gonna happen anymore. And maybe Drew McIntyre will be the next one to face Seth.
Yeah, tawag doon. I have to admit though, what Chino said was right, but it was the best Punk promo I'd ever heard since he returned to WWE. Nung na-injure siya sa AEW like twice, right? Or 3 times. He never got the chance to cut a promo. And, in both of those times, or some of those times, he was all bitter at the Young Bucks and the Elite or whatever. So, this was the first time that he got to cut a promo na he properly addresses his situation. He addresses it in character, and I enjoyed it a lot. He said some really nice things. He wrote the promo and weaved it in such a way that it all comes back to his character as a babyface. But I like that bit about his friend, cancer patient, right? Yeah. That was really nice. And then how about him, overcoming and all that stuff. It was good. It was good. If I didn't know any better, I would have believed it as well. But it's okay. Yeah. Tawag dun, it's one of those things talaga that really it really explains why a lot of people like this guy. A friend was asking earlier, bakit daw marami pa rin naniniwala kay CM Punk. And he's again goes back to the whole Duterte ng wrestling, diba? But this one he wielded it in a way na it was okay. It was good. unfortunately, he had to get injured to cut something really, really, really heartfelt. A lot of people have been saying that they like to see Drew versus Punk. I think Drew made a good case for that with his work, with
Yep.
his trolling on Twitter, uh, with his trolling on Instagram. Diba? Pretty good stuff. I like that he found a way to make the feud, to make his feud, to make his feelings hotter than the potential Punk versus Seth thing.
Yeah, in the meantime, Sami Zayn is kind of taking up the sword here, diba, or the shield here as a CM Punk defender, at least in kayfabe. Kasi nung inattack na ni Drew si CM Punk, Sami Zayn came in for the save. So I don't know what this means for Sami or Drew and their road to WrestleMania, but as we already alluded to earlier, Seth Rollins is now left without a challenger. So let's go to Seth here. Because on Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes cut his promo after winning the Royal Rumble, and then sabi ni Seth freaking Rollins, pick me, bro. Choose me. So, normally, di ba tayong mga wrestling fans were conditioned to see the champions either wish na, oh, pick the other guy, lalo na if the Royal Rumble winner has a lot of momentum behind them, or like act smug. But this version of Seth Rollins, medyo may pagka-desperate yung pagka-approach niya na you have to pick me. And he's really tried to lay it out for Cody and explain how it makes sense. But did you think it made sense for Seth and for Cody? What do you guys think?
Okay, for me, on Seth's POV, it makes sense for him. It works kasi wala siyang kalaban at the moment. There's no contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody, however, is still a member of the Raw roster and he can still fight for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is a championship from Raw. So it kind of makes sense for me. Ngayon, in Cody's point of view, I don't think it makes sense kasi ang primary goal niya is to win the WWE Championship from Roman, and that was his goal, and that's what he promised kay Dusty. Well, he didn't really promise, pero that's his goal.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Chino. Medyo naglalag ata si Chino.
Nakakatawa lang
there.
during the promo, and this is the one thing that stuck out to me. Hello. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The funniest thing that stuck out to me during this promo was when both of them referred to themselves as working class people, pero pareho silang nakasuit. Parang hindi
No, I get it.
dapat pag working class ka, hindi ka nakasuit. It's just a funny disconnect on my end. Diba? But all in all, I get why Seth is desperate, but at the same time, I also don't understand why he has to resort to that when he easily has a number of people who want to challenge him for that title. That's probably what the one of the chamber matches will be for. Kasi usually ganun naman yung nangyayari, di ba? When one guy picks the other guy gets a challenger from whatever pay-per-view is left. So I don't know why they're trying to sell us that he has to be desperate when it's very obvious na may lilitaw naman na challenger at the end.
Okay, here is the explanation y'all have been waiting for. First, they are both working class people. Gino, you heard the last meals episode with Seth. He details growing up poor in Iowa. Second, Cody Rhodes almost lost their house. Almost lost their house back when Dusty was was broke as hell. Right? He had to cut a promo, or he had to do a commercial for a car. Third rather. The reason why Seth is wanting Cody to pick him, because remember the Rumble win is guaranteed the main event of WrestleMania. Whether that's night 1 or night 2, that is the main event of WrestleMania. So that is the big spot that Seth is looking for. He didn't say it. WWE doesn't say it, but it's implied. And it's one of those things that dapat i-lay out, i-spell out mo, kasi that's the missing piece of the context that that's missing here in this particular story, in this particular direction. So now, because they didn't say that, Seth looks like a weird desperate champion who wants to pick a fight with just about anyone, but he's looking for that big spot. He's looking for that big spot on the pay-per-view, on the PLE. It's not unlike Lexus King, copying to
Being a cloud
the attack,
chaser.
yeah, for a spot on the NXT PLE, diba? So that's what it is. They just don't explain it. It's pretty sad. But for the most part, Rowan is right when he talks about what Cody is feeling. Diba? I mean, we've all established it here. You all established it last week. I was okay with him challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship, or not, even for the UU Championship na hindi si Roman Reigns ang champion, diba? But the story is a story. He pointed to Roman Reigns at the end of the Rumble. That's what he wants to finish. And at this point, that's it. They're only doing this to, sow some doubt, diba? But I think it's also, as Chino said, it's also a it's a waste of an opportunity, because everyone knows Cody's challenging Roman, diba? Nobody's buying into this particular sales stock, diba? So it's a nice place to have Seth talk about himself, his career, but could have been someone else.
One more
Having
thing
said
pa
what you
pala.
did,
Sorry,
Ro-
sorry.
Ah, sige, Rowan. Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing pa pala is that parang this thing is like the reason why yung rumors of Rock versus Roman might happen. Like this is like making it how am I gonna say it? Basta parang it's like making this make that rumor make sense na, oh my god, Roman might face The Rock this year. Pero again, like I said last week, pampagulo lang yun.
I wouldn't know, Rowan. I wouldn't know about the Rock thing. Kasi, people haven't really been talking about that anymore now that Cody Rhodes has won the Royal Rumble. But to bring it
Exactly.
back to Seth, I think what a lot of people have forgotten is that yung current character niya is really all about his vanity, diba? He's still a very self-centered guy na sing my song. The attention should be on me, diba? That's why he wears all these flashy outfits and he tries to play conductor to the masses. And he calls himself a visionary and a revolutionary. And if there was that link that linked yung character trait na yun ni Seth Rollins to his desire for Cody Rhodes to pick him, maybe it would make more, it would be clearer kung bakit gusto niya na siya yung piliin ni Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania. So yun, just a few things na parang these were puzzle pieces that were already on the table na siguro pag pinagtahi-tahi lang na mas maayos, it would have been much more clear for everybody.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to this next point here. Andrade, someone that we saw on Monday Night Raw. He shook hands now with Adam Pearce after signing yung contract, so he's going to be on the red brand. Meanwhile, ang binalita is that Naomi will go to SmackDown, which makes sense both in kayfabe and out of kayfabe because her husband, Jimmy Uso, is also on SmackDown. So, ikaw, Rowan, did you want to see them on the opposite show?
I wanted to see Naomi on SmackDown kasi going back from 2016, she was one of the women who established the division right there. Siya yung like she, Becky, Alexa, they were the ones who's making the show watchable on the women's side. Kaya tama lang na WWE would put her on SmackDown while the real life situation of her being married to Jimmy Uso makes sense to the whole thing. Pero yun nga, I want to see Naomi kasi parang I want the brand to have an interesting women's division. I think na-establish na rin yung pangalan niya when she was outside the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Chino.
I'm fine with them being with their respective spouses. However, would have loved to see Naomi on Raw. Di dahil sa gusto ko sila paghiwalayin, but because I am of the belief that a Naomi versus the women's roster on Raw matchup is much more interesting. It's a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper, and it allows her to showcase what talents she's picked up outside of the WWE. Not that hindi niya pwedeng gawin yon sa SmackDown, but I feel like a Raw roster, the women's roster on Raw is a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Andrade on SmackDown. Sorry, Rowan, me first. I wanted Andrade on SmackDown. I think Raw's super stacked. Like, there's no need to stack Raw any further. SmackDown is what's needed. I mean, you have LA Knight, you have Randy Orton, you have AJ Styles, and after that, it's all mid card.
Bobby Lashley.
Sure, but Bobby Lashley is acting manager. He's acting player coach, diba? He's not in any big championship pictures. He's feuding with with Bum-ass Karrion Kross. So I think SmackDown needed another bit of star power just to overload the 2 hours. So it's neither here nor there. Kasi yun nga, somebody said, Carlo and I just said that, they're gonna draft after WrestleMania. So the odds are they're going, or he's going to SmackDown then eventually. But I
Matagal
didn't
pa
think
actually, di ba? The draft happens September, October these days. So hindi na siya tulad nung dati na, WrestleMania, then the draft.
wasn't last year's draft April?
Parang April yung
Last year's draft was
nangyari
in
last year.
October. Wasn't
What?
it?
Was it?
No.
Was
I don't remember. Let me
was
fact
not.
check.
It was not.
I-
It was
It was after
April,
WrestleMania.
yeah, it was after WrestleMania because
Yeah.
they forgone the 2022 draft
Yeah.
just
Right,
to reset
okay,
it
okay.
back to WrestleMania. So yun.
Okay.
I'd much rather see Andrade on SmackDown. But again, I think okay na rin wherever you go. Triple H is okay naman. He's got a good hand on both shows.
Yeah, so I was about to say that as well. Na Andrade on SmackDown would have been better, not because Charlotte is also there, pero like I like that all the Hispanic talents are on SmackDown, and I would have loved na he would have matches with Santos Escobar or even Cruz del Toro, anybody from LWO even. Uh, have fun with the mid card division, and then probably rise up the ranks, face someone like LA Knight. And again about the draft, maybe so Charlotte is injured, right? So matagal pa yung recovery time niya. So wherever Andrade will go, if he gets drafted again, that's where Charlotte will go as well.
No, you know what? I actually don't like the idea of all the Latinx guys being on SmackDown. Like, this is the reason why I want Andrade to be on Raw. I like how they acknowledged that Andrade and Zelina had history and that he was aware that Zelina was dealing with stuff on SmackDown, so that was a nice touch. But when I saw Andrade signing with Raw, I was like, yeah, that's a good move. I love SmackDown, I love the Luchadores, but I think we're fine with Andrade being on Raw.
Yeah,
That
because with
wasn't my reason,
Andrade,
though.
sorry, with Andrade being on SmackDown, it opens the opportunity for him to have to be forced to pick sides again, which was like one of the storylines he did. Nung nasa AEW pa siya. Do we really want to see a repeat of that? Syempre, hindi na, diba? Syempre, you want something different from this current run. So now, that he's on Raw, he might have a chance to do that.
Yeah. No, I wasn't gonna. I didn't want him on SmackDown because the other Latinos were there. I mean, like that's a really shallow reason to draft people. But I think he could. I just thought the brand could use him. That's really it.
All right. Carlo, we have no idea if this forbidden door with TNA is officially open, but from what we've seen from the Rumble, there's at least a working relationship of some sort. Kasi having Jordan Grace walk into the Royal Rumble with a Knockouts World Championship for it to be acknowledged on WWE television doesn't happen without any relationship whatsoever, diba? So there's at least that. Anything else hindi na natin alam. Speaking of the Rumble, let's talk about Braun Breaker. So, meron din mga reports na he might be headed for SmackDown. This week on Raw, sinabi ni Nick Aldis when he appeared backstage na he'll be taking a call from Braun Breaker, implying na maybe they're having their own free agent discussions. So, meron din reports na lumabas na in lieu of Brock Lesnar being at the Rumble, kasi nga, di ba, he was reportedly taken out after the allegations came out. Yung entire Rumble arc ni Brock Lesnar napunta kay Braun Breaker. So that included the 4 eliminations, the stare down with Omos, that moment with Pat McAfee, and then him ultimately getting eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, which reports say should have led to Brock versus Dom at Elimination Chamber. So what did you think about Braun being in this spot and it being, I guess, a precursor to a main roster run?
Oh, Rowan.
Well, ngayon mas naniniwala na ako na Braun took that Rumble spot from Brock rather than Pat McAfee. But yeah, I want to see Braun Breaker on the main roster again. And like I said sa audio only episode, he just has to finish the storyline over on NXT with Baron Corbin and maybe ma- both him and Corbin will go to the main roster as a tag team maybe. Pero Brock's time is up, so I guess we have to give it to Braun this time.
The
Um,
opportunity was right there to say Braun's time is now
Oo
after
nga.
you said Brock's time was
Thought
up.
you were
Come
gonna
on,
say that.
Rowan.
All right. Anyway. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's okay na hindi lang na rin natin makikita si Brock on WWE TV. Uh, he has given us good matches and personally sawa na ako sa kanya eh. Kaya if we give the whole spot to Braun Breaker then okay lang.
Mhm.
I okay. The reports are saying that Brock Lesnar was taken off because his name was alluded to in the Vince McMahon reports, right? Kung totoo man yon, I don't know. But it doesn't look good for him to be kept off TV because of a rumor. Granted, it is a rumor that has some weight behind it. So delicado on his end, but I mean, keeping Brock off TV just because people say na, oh, there's a potential na kasama siya dito, might actually be bad for him. However, I'm not saying na dapat i-ignore nila yung rumor entirely. Regardless, Brock, sorry, being replaced with Braun actually made a lot of sense for me, especially since yung potential feud na Brock versus Dominic doesn't enthuse me as much. Parang hirap pumili doon eh, di ba? Parang mangyayari, magiging face pa si Dominic at the end of the day. Like, it really tests the crowd's hate for Dominic by putting him up against Brock Lesnar. It's a fun idea, but I don't think it's a well thought of idea. Now, Braun Breaker versus Dom might actually work kasi it's a one versus all type of scenario with the Judgment Day still being in play. So I'm pretty interested in that storyline more than the Brock Lesnar idea.
I'm with Neil here. I just want the Wolf Dogs to make an appearance as them on
Yeah.
SmackDown. Diba? I mean, today they're obviously winning the Dusty Classic. Diba? There's no way that Mello and Trick are doing that unless they win and then Mello turns on Trick. Diba? I just want the Wolf Dogs because the Wolf Dogs are great. It's
Agree.
it's gonna be the way to again get Baron Corbin likable. May chemistry sila. We talked about this before. And I just hope they don't mess with that formula. Yun lang. That's all I want.
And the last thing here before we go to break, Rowan already gave us thoughts. So Chino and Ro, let us know. Are you happy if we don't see Brock Lesnar in WWE anymore? Tapos na yung Brock Lesnar WWE narrative.
I kind of think he's overstayed a little bit. Nung natapos na yung dominant run niya as champion, I felt like he could have used some time off but didn't take it. With regards to him being off completely, I don't know, because it still pops me whenever I see him on TV. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Nung lumabas siya ng Rumble, that popped me, diba? So, kung mawala man siya for good, then I'm a little on the fence about it. So, yun lang. Yun lang yung thoughts ko about Brock Lesnar.
I thought the Cody thing was a nice send off, diba? Nag-ano sila, nagka-moment sila ng
Yeah, show of
after the
respect.
Cody match. Yeah, so that was a fine send off. I think him coming back at the Rumble was the most overstaying of overstays, diba? So the story is pretty much finished. He's done everything. He's won everything. I don't need to see him anymore. It's one of those things that it's just time to move on from Brock after more than 20 years.
Yeah. Crazy, no? Brock Lesnar had that monster run his first 2 years, then he left for a decade, came back, and then had a decade plus of destruction. And then, this thing in real life happened, and hindi natin alam pa rin kung totoo o hindi. But it could be over. Somebody on Twitter wrote na it was a poetic send-off, as you said, Ro, na it happened at SummerSlam. He put over Cody Rhodes, who needed to overcome a huge monster in his way. SummerSlam was Brock's pay-per-view for the longest time. So, and then Brock acknowledged Cody by shaking his hand and raising his arm and all that stuff. So, it feels wrapped up with a bow on top. So, Can't really get any better than that narrative-wise. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some AEW, and we'll also end the first part of the audio-only ng live stream right here. But first, let's hear from our other kapodcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about some AEW stuff, starting with this nice little graphic that showed up in the middle of Dynamite kanina. It wasn't really even mentioned as like something Excalibur would plug. It just showed up in the middle of a match. Apparently, there's a big announcement coming next week on Dynamite. So, people have been speculating na it could be related to Mercedes Moné. So, this could be it na she finally gets announced as the newest member of the AEW roster. What do you guys think about this one?
I'm
I don't
fine
know.
with it.
Go.
I'm fine with it. Yun lang, I'm fine with it if Mercedes would be on AEW kasi AEW still has some type of partnership with New Japan, right? So I guess tama lang.
Wala na siya sa New Japan.
Oh wait, right? Oh, I missed a lot then. This is a bad look for me. Anyway, yeah. So she's a big free agent then. So I guess tama lang na Tony Khan would sign her to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to see her on the WWE TV again. I feel like as part of an AEW women's roster, it does her a disservice. Kasi nakikita naman natin yung treatment ng women's roster sa AEW. Diba? You get a promo in a match and then you call it the rest of the week. Diba? Maybe it gets better with her and this new format that they're trying to enforce. Sana, because only seeing somebody, a big star like Mercedes Moné every other week, it really doesn't showcase her value or the value that she brings to the roster.
I think Tony Khan is like the only person who's willing to pay Mercedes what she's worth, diba? She does deserve her back. She did draw for New Japan. That's a big deal. They got a whole legion of WWE fans, WWE only fans, to tune into Wrestle Kingdom para lang mapanood siya. So that is no easy feat. She deserves her bag just for that. And as for this announcement, sure, whatever it is. For all we know, baka tickets na naman ng all out din, ng all in yan, diba? na ibebenta niya. So I don't want to
fight forever.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly, diba?
May DLC
I don't want to.
pala
I
yung
don't
fight
want.
forever, no? That's not.
No, may
Yeah,
DLC
meron
nga.
talaga.
Meron
talaga.
Tony Storm
No,
DLC.
like a new
yeah.
one. No, a new DLC.
Okay, sure. I don't want to speculate on what it is. Just wait for the announcement. It's gonna be a thing. If he didn't do the whole Tony Khan has a big announcement on social media, then I don't think it's that big. Kasi napaka low key ng pagkasabi na may announcement siya.
Yeah. I think
But
it's
you
a
know-
way of
Yeah.
trying to subvert na rin. Kasi we already know what to expect. We made memes out of it, diba? Napagtawanan na siya ng internet fan base. So, at this point, I think he's just trying to stay 1 or 2 steps ahead of us.
Sure. Whatever. Okay. You go do that, TK.
One more thing pa
AEW
pala.
Australia tour. That's the announcement. Okay? The day after Chamber.
Rowan,
Rowan, what was that?
Pero
What was that,
sorry, signing Mercedes could be good. May naisip akong concept like she can be the Bryan Danielson of the women's division. Like she not only she can wrestle, she can also be involved creatively or like somewhere behind the scenes. And maybe siya na yung
What?
maging susi para mapaganda yung women's division. I don't know. It's
No,
just
I get what you're saying, but she doesn't need to be in a backstage
Yeah.
role to do that. I mean, all you got to do is prove that she needs to be on TV every week. diba? And hopefully, the rest of the spots for the women on TV will come. Because uh, you can't, have her on every week. Tapos wala nang iba.
Di lang yun,
Yeah.
Rowan. You've got Serena Deeb and Emi Sakura and several other veterans there, and yet they still just get one women's match per show. So
Yep.
what makes you think, not just because, oh, Sasha Banks, here's the Brian Danielson role or capacity, it's not going to automatically increase the number of matches and segments they're booked in? Doesn't
No,
work that way.
no, I get what
do
I
think
get what
it
he's
would
saying.
put
I get what
more
he's saying.
eyes.
Yeah, I
I
get what
guess
he's
ko din
saying.
sinasabi niya.
Yeah.
But at
It's
the end
not.
of the day,
I'm just saying that she doesn't need to be in a backstage role. That backstage role thing was weird. You don't have to be
at the,
that.
diba, at the end of the day, it's still systemic, diba? I'm still
Yeah.
waiting on that women's only show that he promised us, Tony Khan. Wala pa yung wala pa nangyayari doon, diba? It became Collision for some reason. So, now we'll just have to wait kung willing ba talaga siya to double down and give the women the time that they deserve.
All I'm saying
Card-
is, no, all I was saying is, oh, you put Mercedes on every week, like Sasha Banks was on every week on SmackDown, diba? So
Yeah.
wala ka ng choice kundi to make another spot for the women because she has to be on every week. That she brings the viewers. So it's like Edge. Edge is on every week now, diba? So what do you do when you have to feature one woman every week? She's no Paige, she's no Soraya, diba? So now you have the Mercedes spot. So now you have to make the other women's spot. Wala ka ng choice. Wala ka ng takas doon.
Yeah. So whatever Tony Storm is doing, then whatever Mercedes is doing, yun, dalawa na yun, diba? And then on the other show, on Collision, whatever Julia Hart is doing, and then whatever Mercedes is doing, if you want to bring her there as well. So there. Let's move on here to another potential signing in Kazuchika Okada, who we've been speculating about for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yung latest balita is that his merch has been pulled from Pro Wrestling Tees, but only because wala na siya sa New Japan. So, yung existing merch niya at the time were linked to New Japan, but because he's no longer under contract with NJPW, his merch has been pulled. So, we're all assuming that if he signs with AEW, he'll just put up a new Kazuchika Okada store, and then yun na, all systems go, Kazuchika Okada is all elite. So, may umaalma ba? Like, because like my opinion hasn't changed. Now, I still think the more interesting outcome is Okada to WWE.
Ako din eh. Ako din. I've seen.
Yeah.
I've gone warmer. I've gone warmer towards that idea. Grown warmer towards that idea simply because kahit sabihin natin hindi maganda ang treatment or hindi ideal yung treatment ng Japanese wrestlers sa WWE, I still feel like Okada has the ability to turn the tide over there. Diba? He's a once-in-a-lifetime star that basically carried New Japan on his back nung umalis na si Shinsuke and them. And when he was the only one left, siya yung top draw nila. He essentially became their John Cena to that certain extent, diba? So to bring him over to WWE might actually, especially under this new management, might actually do good for him. Whereas if nagpunta siya ng AEW, I don't think AEW is going to do anything different with Okada. Diba? They're still going to just offer him up as the same Okada, just under a different TV show.
Same. I still want the idea na Okada being in WWE. I still don't know what it would look like, kung maganda ba yung ikakalabas or not. I just like that idea na Okada from New Japan. Will he have the same presentation from New Japan in WWE, if ever? What type of booking will he have? Will it be good? Will he wrestle every week? Will he be a special attraction? I'm just interested with the idea na he would be in WWE. He could be in NXT, like what the rumors said. Pero I don't know now. If he will go to AEW, baka he might just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. No, I agree. I wanted to see Okada in WWE. I wanted to see if they could, undo the damage that they did to Nakamura, to Kenta, diba? A lot of other people. I wanted to see. I wanted to see if he was gonna be the next Tozawa or whatever, or the next Nakamura, which are not really like the best outcomes for him. But I wanted to see. I just wanted to see if it would be better. Kasi
Okada
Triple
goes
H,
on a Funaki run. That's what happens.
exactly.
Yes.
Triple H is the guy, kasi that wanted these guys in the first place. And then I remember the story that they told about 205 Live. About Triple H wanted to push for the cruiserweight division. It was his baby. Then Vince, took it back, or took it from him, and then he kind of did this Vince thing, and then just relegated the cruiserweights to being a small deal on 205 Live. And then when he reverted control to Triple H, he didn't really want to do anything much with it anymore. So parang may history siya of dropping the toys like Andy, and I don't know. Maybe that's what happened to Nakamura. Maybe that's what happened to Kenta, to Tozawa. But otherwise, I wanted to see if he was gonna make up for it with Okada. Say Okada's not just anyone, he is one of the biggest stars in the world. Even though a lot of people, a lot of WWE only fans will say, "Who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this Japanese guy?" But the history, the reputation is there. The reputation has entered the room before he did, and once a lot of fans make him a big deal, once WWE legitimizes him, he will be a big deal. So sayang talaga. I just wanted to see that happen.
Maganda tong sinabi ni Glendale. What if Okada debuted at WrestleMania? I was actually thinking about this a few minutes ago. Now Seth Rollins still has no challenger at WrestleMania, kind of like 2 years ago. And then he's there. It's like, come out, whoever you are. And then out comes Okada, like Cody Rhodes did 2 years
Really
ago.
doing this again?
Coin drop. The coin drops.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Kung yun yung mangyayari, like, sure, let's do 2022 all over again for Seth freaking Rollins. For Seth
Oh
only.
yeah. I also wouldn't mind kung yan yung kung yan yung end game nila, surprises with Okada, why the hell not? Diba? I'm all for it. It's a good surprise. Yes, gas-gas na yung trope na yun, but it's gas-gas siya because it works. That's what I always say.
But it's like the same person who did it. So I'm sad that maybe if it were someone else, but it's literally the same guy who's left with no challenger.
Was it Seth's fault a tricep got injured?
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Diba? I mean, it works because it works, So
Yeah.
Diba? Why fix a dead horse or something like that?
One last thing here. Yung mga rumors about Okada going to AEW have gotten stronger over the past week because of his friendship with the Young Bucks, who, as we all know, are EVPs in AEW. Yun. That had to be said. Moving on, the rankings have returned. So let's show them on the screen here. Yan, right after Dynamite went off the air, in-upload ng AEW social media team yung rankings. So hindi na nila nilagay yung win-loss records unlike before. Dati meron pa nga yung parang winning streak, parang power rankings in sports leagues. But now, as they are, yan lang. When I took a look at them, I was like, okay, kind of makes sense given yung positioning nila. I'm not sure if Deonna Purrazzo at number 1 makes so much sense given that she's only had like 2 or 3 matches. But everything else, I can't really argue much with them.
I don't know if this is a good idea because AEW did not really follow the ranking system back then. I mean, for some occasions they didn't. But what they did instead is just book a wrestler who they think deserves a title shot based on storyline. So kaya have them booked in a single elimination tournament, which is not bad at all, and mas prefer ko pa nga yun eh. Kasi parang yung ranking system, mahirap siya ma-maintain, and it's hard to keep track on. On paper, it sounds good. I once did it with WWE games, pero parang I got lost with it. Parang ang hirap i-control. How are you gonna handle the win-loss record? Parang kasi there's gonna be like the stipulations and other factors like injury. How are you gonna change the ranking system with that? So I guess why not book it normally, like with just single elimination tournaments, or like how the storyline goes. And I think the ranking system only works if the roster is small.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, right. May point yun. The ranking system works when the roster is small. That's what I said last week. When I compared it to the round robin tournament, the Continental Classic, it worked. That worked a lot because there were only like 10 guys, diba? Or 12 guys. Sorry. So it was easy to keep track of, and that made sense. This one doesn't make as much sense. It makes sense in a way that it's easy to manipulate to get what you want, to get the stories you want, but looking at it now, yeah, a lot of the chat is asking, bakit si ganyan number 5, but si ganyan number 2? It doesn't quite explain, doesn't show its work, how it got there. So it's gonna piss off, some of the some of the real sports sticklers, the real math figure nerds, stats nerds, diba? And it's one of those things na mukhang half-baked na because, as Rowan said, there's no way to do this but to be half baked unless you're completely plugged in on all your numbers and tracing all the things on a
Ano
court
ba yung
board.
PER ni na John Silver at Alex Reynolds? Ba't sila naging number 2?
Exactly.
Tsaka, hindi ko din gets kung, because like in the men's division, can we put back the graphic here for a bit, Jasper? Thank you. In the men's division, you have 4 singles titles going at it at the same time. So, paano nila decide na number 1 siya
Oo.
for this
Yun pa.
particular title?
Yeah.
Diba?
Yes, exactly.
Kasi
Yeah.
sa ibang combat sports, may weight classes sila, diba? In boxing, you got the different promotions. So, paano gagawin ng AEW yan? Who's to say Swerve is the number 1 contender for the heavyweight championship? What if he's the number 1 contender for the Continental Championship,
Yeah.
diba?
Mm.
Paano nila i-decide yun? Especially with the women, diba? Itong women, dalawa din yung title nila. Diba? So, is Diana Parazzo automatically the number 1 contender for Toni
both.
Storm or for,
For
Julia
both.
Hart? Diba? Parang confusing din siya kasi hindi nila define ng maayos kung paano ba talaga tumatakbo tong rankings.
Yeah.
Yeah, great points all around. I mean, from the outside perspective, baka sabihin nyo na, no, you're nitpicking. Pero hindi. When you introduce a very complicated system that should simplify things, but instead overcomplicates things further, you're bound to run into these questions because, di ba, the point of communities like ours, podcasts like ours, is to think about wrestling. And to think about it more than just it being the lowest common denominator. So, yeah, these questions are good. And I hope na masagot sila ni TK, di ba, ng AEW. Because otherwise, if you just ignores it conveniently, edi katawa-tawa lang ulit yung pagbabalik ng rankings. And then someone else might speak up again and say na, you know what, let's do away with the rankings once again.
Baka ito yung big announcement niya. He's gonna explain to us what the rankings are. That's the big announcement.
We'll see. We'll see next week on Dynamite.
It's up to
Let's finish-
Skiabone.
Okay.
It's up to
let's-
Skiabone on Control Center.
Mm-hmm. Let's finish things up here with Hangman versus Swerve 3, which has been announced for Dynamite next week. So the winner goes on to face Samoa Joe at Revolution. So what do you think is going to happen here? Who will be the number 1 contender heading into March 3?
Swerve.
Swerve.
I was actually
Me-
thinking that it would be a schmozzy finish and then triple threat.
Ooh, pwede.
Pwede din, actually.
Pero I
Kind of
want, I
need
want
a pure
Swerve.
baby face in there kasi Joe is a heel and Swerve is a heel, even though Swerve is super hot.
Yun nga eh. Like, I
Ah.
want Swerve to win because he's like red hot right now. So they might as well capitalize on that.
I don't care.
I mean, at the
It's
end of the day,
yeah.
both no, doesn't really matter who wins. I don't think Joe is dropping the title.
It does. It does matter who wins. Because if Swerve goes on to have a one-on-one shot, na-legitimize na siya lalo. Kasi eto na eh. This is him starting the main event run finally. And I think it should go there. Yeah, you're right. Na may big chance it's going to be a 3-way. Pero I don't want to see Swerve versus Hangman yet again, even with Joe in the mix. Oh, so the question as to whether who's the face, I don't care. I don't care if it's a heel story. Because people want to cheer Swerve, people want to cheer Joe. It's not gonna matter who the heel is. People want to see that level of brutality from both guys.
Mm-hmm. Chino, Rowan?
I said what I
yeah.
said. So
Yeah, I said what I said as well.
All right. Sige. We've got time here before we end the live stream. Let's talk about this thing from AEW. Something that Chino pointed out nung nagpe-pre-prod kami. So over the week, let's start with Collision muna. So their main event was the Trios Cage match, diba? Between FTR and Daniel Garcia versus the House of Black. And then there was a bit of confusion with the stipulation. Kasi ang sinabi nila is that it's an elimination tag match. At least that's what the graphic said. And then yung biglang nangyari is you have to escape the cage. So dun pa lang there was a bit of confusion. And then in comes Dave Meltzer who claimed na AEW changed the stipulation of the trios cage match dahil according to Dave Meltzer, House of Black didn't want to get pinned. So nangyari after the cage match on Collision, the members of House of Black all responded on Twitter. Then si Brody King kinlarify niya na the wording of the stipulation was changed on the graphic pero hindi raw nila kasalanan yun kasi hindi naman nila alam. So what do you guys think about how this all went down? Kasi honestly, medyo magulo siya given how everything happened. Because I came into the match, I was actually confused. I was also expecting na it would be elimination styles. Biglang, oh, you have to escape the cage. So what happened here?
Okay, I'll start. The wording I saw from Meltzer was that Malachi Black didn't want a job, so I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that as them not wanting to get pinned. I thought of that as them not wanting to lose. And then you see the cage, you see the match, and then Malachi was the last to remain in the cage, so he lost big time for his team. So that to me explains that okay, Meltzer was wrong. He regardless of whether he wanted to be pinned or not, he still lost. That was still a big L for their team because it was such a big match, diba? So I'm willing to believe the House of Black here. I'm also willing to believe the whole hullabaloo about the stipulation wording and how it was promoted, diba? So, it's one of those things that okay, that's kind of messed up because it not only tells or it not only tries to tell people na mali yung sinabi ng ano, but it also maligns the people involved and paints them, to be wrestlers who didn't want to do business, diba? Which I don't think is the case because they've lost so many times, so it doesn't add up as to why they wouldn't want to lose yet again. I wanted them to win, yes, but I don't believe they didn't want to lose either.
Nakakatawa lang yung pinost ni Buddy Murphy yung record niya just to show na anong sinasabi mo di ako natatalo. It's a good retort. It's like a self-burn and a burn at once. But anyway, I think it's also an internal problem on AEW's end, diba? To have something like this be blown out of proportion. Kasi kung pinunta nila yung graphic, then somebody, I guess, should have informed them via internal chat or whatever na ganito na yung mangyayari instead of it looking like it was done on the fly because of some absurd reason. Diba? I feel like it's important to keep your talent in the mix kasi at the end of the day, sila yung lumalabas sa TV, diba?
Yep.
So and now it looks like they're blaming a graphic artist or PR person for this, diba? Parang hindi naman tama din yun. But at the same time, it's also important to have to keep everything internal, diba? I don't know kung sino yung nagsabi kay Meltzer na ganito yung nangyari, but that guy should be fired or whatever. Kasi ang gulo gumulo siya eh. Hindi naman kailangan umabot sa ganito, pero gumulo lang siya lalo.
Yeah, very unfortunate situation. Si Brody King also pointed out na si Dax was getting roasted on Twitter kasi kung ano-ano sinabi niya, 'di ba? Like he got the name of the city wrong and then mali din yung nabanggit niya in the pre-tape. Pero nga, live kasi yun eh. So, sinasabi ni Brody King na these things happen on live television even when the cameras are rolling. So, I want to commend Brody here kasi at least yung fellow talent niya, hindi niya tinrow under the bus. Ang laking bagay pa rin nun even if, in storyline kalaban mo yun, you're still selling the same product and in not throwing your fellow talent under the bus, diba? You're at least protecting pa rin yung product kasi yun pa rin yung pinaka-importante, diba? The product that you put out there on TV and it's really unfortunate na some change in wording or whatever caused so much confusion with the understanding kung ano yung magiging main event nitong Collision over the weekend.
Yep.
On that note, we are gonna wind down here with the live stream. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan sa audio-only feed natin. So, if you want to hear our predictions for NXT Vengeance Day, our thoughts on the new commentators for both Raw and SmackDown, and some thoughts on the Judgment Day and the Hardys, go check out the audio-only episode that will hit your feeds over the weekend. For now, let's get to some plugs. We're gonna start with Chino.
I am back for the time being, back for quite some time. So I'm kicking things off with my first stand-up show of the year. Super Sam, Tomas Morato, Scout Torrillo Street, Quezon City this Wednesday with a showcase of comedians from Comedy Manila. It's free entrance, guys. You don't have to pay anything. It happens early on a Wednesday night. So wala na kayong excuse. Baka makaisip pa kayo. But if you want to go, please drop by Super Sam, Tomas Morato, February 7. Show starts at 8 p.m.
All right. Ikaw, Rowan.
Uh, same plug. I'll be writing my SmackDown review, and please read it. And I might write an MWF 2024 wish list. So stay tuned.
All right.
Hey,
Ro?
you said that, so I'm holding you to it.
Yeah.
Just follow us on TikTok, Wrestling2X Pod. Follow me on Instagram, shang.daddy on both Instagram and TikTok as well. So yeah, just follow us. Pasabays on Monday, Elimination Chamber, Feb 24. So stay tuned for all of those.
Yeah. For me naman, if anybody's watching Game 1 of the PBA Finals tomorrow at MOA, I'm going to be doing hype man duties over there. Go say hi if you see me. And buy me a coffee, please. I would appreciate that. For Game 2 naman on Sunday, I'm going to be calling that on PBA Radio sa 918 Sports AM. So, yan, both games will be in the evening for Friday and Sunday. So there. Thank you so much to everybody who caught the stream. Neil, thank you for making us a part of your evening drive, man. That means a lot. Thank you, Adore/Ali, for always being a part of our podcasts. And
Sakang
everybody
outcast.
sakang outcast tulad namin. Thank you for always joining us and making us a part of your routine. And please take a moment to hit that follow button on Spotify in case you haven't yet. Pati na rin sa YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much to Babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of the work that they do behind the scenes. We'll catch you next week for our Pick of the Week special and our Weekend Reactions episode. On behalf of Ro Moran, Rowan ASH, and Chino Liao, my name is Stan C. This has been another episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be a dick. Later, weirdos.
Happy
Peace,
birthday, Mom.
Outcasts.